to another episode of Restaurant Hoppen. I'm your host, Dan Hoppen, and none of you either listening or in the room right now would be here right now without the TV show Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives, because this Food Network show and its eccentric host, Guy Fieri, were really the inspiration behind my love of local restaurants and watching him go to all these local places all over the country and just get to meet the chefs and hear their stories and rave about the food. That was my real inspiration to start my website, to start my podcast and everything like that. Guy came to Omaha like way back when. I want to say like early 2010s or something like that, and went to some Omaha restaurants. But our food scene changed so much since he came last time, and it's starting to get big again. So he had to come back out. I think it was in May of 2023, sometime spring, early summer. Guy came back out, and he came to 6 Omaha restaurants. All 6 of those episodes have aired now. He came to Block 16, Modern Love, WD Cravings, and he also came to the restaurants of the gentleman sitting next to me tonight. From Dirty Birds, we have Moses Mosley. From Kitchen Table, we have Collin Duggan. And from Izzy's Pizza Bus, we have Brett Geiger. Guys, welcome to the show.
Good to be here.
All right, to kick things off, people here are experiencing your food, maybe for the first time. I would love for each of you to just introduce yourself and give us like a 30-second elevator pitch on what your concept is. Go ahead, Moses.
I'll start, yeah. My name's Moses. I own Dirty Birds. I guess pitching our concept, man, if you like read a lot about our website and so forth, we were fortunate enough, me and my business partner, to come up in the city working the hotlines at a lot of restaurants, mostly for this guy right here. But we had a chance to experience a lot of places that we fell in love with in the city, you know, the Night Owls of the world, the Kitchen Tables, and all these places, and take that and become our own. And we had that opportunity. You know, it's a story that I think only Omaha can produce at this point, you know, like guys on the hotline wanted to open a restaurant, go for it, do it, you know, talk your stuff, make it happen, and that's what we got to do. So it's a little bit of everything. It's eclectic. You guys had my food tonight, so, you know, you thought Dirty Bird's fried chicken, right? Nah, sorry. You got to come check us out for that. But it does show a little bit of our versatility in coming up in the city. The Hidalgo-style chorizo, the bread. Again, this guy taught us a little bit about bread. But, you know, I wanted to showcase our versatility a little bit. But we just are that neighborhood restaurant, I would say, and that neighborhood is Omaha, I guess.
Yeah, I'd agree 100% with that. The Omaha neighborhood has kind of given me my wings, for sure. I grew up in this town before it was a food scene. When there were like 2 chefs in town who people knew their names, and I was really fortunate enough to work for both of them. Coming out of high school, I worked for Gene Camarada down at the Brass Grill, and he really opened my mind to the idea that food could be more than just the same thing over and over and over again. And you know, I mean, everybody in this world uses Hellmann's, everybody uses Heinz ketchup. But that's not what food's about. That's not what's going to bring people out. So my wife and I, Jessica, who's over here looking lovely.
Shout out, Jessica.
Yeah.
You know, we traveled the country a little bit. We saw a lot of different things, and we came back home with all those tools and built ourselves a house. And that house is the kitchen table. And you know, I mean, our goal, our mission is to produce food that you're familiar with, that you're comfortable with, that you understand, that is completely different than the food that you eat every day. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of what we do. If we can make it, we will. And we'll make it a little bit different. It'll be something that you understand, that you're familiar with, but it'll be our take. You know, we're not, like I've said a million times before, we're not here to reinvent the wheel. We just make it ourselves every single day.
These guys scratch make just about everything.
Ketchup.
In that
they make
kitchen.
their own ketchup.
Guy, you know what? Guy gave us a bunch of shit about that.
Yeah,
like,
he
normally I come into places and I'm like, you make your own ketchup? Heinz does a really good job.
Wow. Awesome.
You know, but if your ketchup leads into your steak sauce, leads into, you know, all the other things that you do, if it's a piece, you build your larder, man. It's all about the pantry. And, like, if you walk into a restaurant and the pantry is a bunch of bottled shit came from Cisco, then you know what you're going to get there.
Straight up.
But if you walk into a restaurant and the pantry is a bunch of delis with weird labels on them that are, you know, just, you know, random jokes, inside jokes that you don't know.
Because I burnt the ketchup a few times.
Exactly. So we know, and we know when the ketchup's burnt, it's going to make a good steak sauce. But don't put it on a burger. Right? So you start to understand these flavors from the base as opposed to, like, starting from the palate, the basic palate.
Elemental, yeah.
You build your own palate, and you build your own larder. And those things that, you know, you store for the future, they're not just things in a can. They're things that you've put time and energy and thought into. And I've taken too much time, so go ahead, Brent.
Brent, you have 2 seconds to sell some issues now.
I can't interrupt that.
I'm sorry.
That was beautiful.
Yeah, sorry.
Apologize for nothing.
Keep going, yeah.
Brett, give us 30 seconds on Izzy's.
30? Come on now. No. Yeah.
36.
Yeah, I'm fast. Anyway, we make pizza. We make Detroit-style pizza. We started in Las Vegas, where we lived at the time. I just wanted to create something for myself and make a pizza that no one else was making. At the time, it was kind of a thin crust pizza, really. I was going for a tavern-style pizza, which might come out soon. Just keep watching, I guess, for that.
Mm-hmm.
But it was like a tavern-style pizza, just kind of crispy thing I was going for. And we fell in love with Detroit-style pizza, so I figured I'd buy some pans and try that. And sold a few, and then sold a few. And we're like, all right, this is like a thing. So now that's our thing. We do Detroit-style pizza. And I just pretty much just fell in love really with just pizza, honestly. I was just doing it as a side job. And then, as we all know, COVID happened, but I started the business about 6 months before COVID. So I was just kind of going, and then it happened, and I'm just like, well, this is my only job now because food's allowed. So kept going with food, and it just kind of just went, you know. It was one of the things that was allowed to keep going business-wise. So we got a little bit of press because we were open. Not a lot of places were. But ultimately, in the end, what just propelled us is just, I feel like, the chase for better pizza all the time. Honestly, I don't know who had it tonight, but that's a total Frankenstein dough. I hope it was good.
It was good.
Just trying new things all the time. That was a new dough formula I'm trying all the time, like literally every maybe few weeks. Just changing stuff all the time. Like he said, just like making things from scratch, trying to figure out what works well. Even for me, for the dough, like the environment here changes it. Like, you know what happened in the past week or two. Try to make dough when this is the environment we're in right now.
Your humidity's less than zero, and
it's rough.
It's impossible. Yeah.
Weird. Totally. Even the cook of the pizza, like things are drier and just different, and I don't know.
Like, I'm married to my wife, but I'm much more in contact personally with the flour sometimes.
Right? Seriously. You know,
it is what it is.
Yes.
You gotta know how it's feeling, man.
You have
to know how much water it needs.
You feel it.
It's really important.
One of my favorite videos when I was learning how to make dough, he's like pushing it, and he's like, "It's your woman. You just have to. You have to feel it. There's a love in there, you know." Mm-hmm. So like, I don't know. It changes all the time. So
you ever just like punch it?
Yes. You have to.
It's so important, man.
When I fold it, you always give it a slap. I'm always jamming music, so I just slap it to whatever the beat of the music is going on.
This podcast is going to have one of those little explicit things on it. This will be the first Restaurant Hoppen one that has to get flagged.
Let's go.
Sorry about that.
And Moses haven't even gotten started yet.
We're just getting started. Nice job.
All right, let's...
So more than 30 seconds. There you go.
No, you're good.
We make pizza.
And brick and mortar coming later this year, so just keep your eyes open for that.
Little baby one, but yeah, little guy coming.
Okay, so let's get into the Triple D experience, because all you guys' episodes have aired. You've seen them. You had watch parties. As you look back, what is your number one lasting memory of that experience?
I'll go first.
Yeah.
Okay, so, I mean, the show was great, the production. My background was a little different approaching the show. I was a backstage chef for years and years. So TV cameras and, you know, music and production and lights, everything, that was part of my life for a long time. I think you were too a little bit. But I was a backstage caterer. I had my tour radio tattooed on me. So it was a great experience. It was a lot of fun. My lasting experiences, the crew. We got them wasted. Absolutely hammered.
Oh,
Dude, after our show. And I think they got in trouble for, like, the next video they had to do. Like, the producer was really mad.
We had different crews. I'm wondering if we had any of the same guys. That's fun.
They got absolutely hammered. But it was the best time ever. I mean, we had all these crazy, weird screenshots we all woke up and saw in the morning. Like, it was a lot of fun. But I guess the best part was the camaraderie, the crew part of it. Again, being around so many productions in my life, it's always fun.
For sure.
The talent is always great. They're always nice to meet, of course. But that crew, you can tell they've been doing it for so many years. Like the lighting, the fixtures, the way you put your hands and so forth. You know, hey, do it 5 times. 1, 2, 3. You know, do that. The crew was probably my most lasting experience, especially with my crew involved. You know, it was. And I guess we'll talk about more. We'll get into more. But that crew was awesome. The words of wisdom that I got from Guy after that, I don't know if we'll talk about that later, but it was a lot of fun. But that was probably my lasting experience. Waking up and seeing a giant mess in my restaurant. Mm-hmm.
I can agree with the crew thing, just coming from show business.
Right.
Everything is staged all the time, and we've done filming, and we've made movies and stuff. I worked at Cirque du Soleil, and we did all that kind of stuff, all the time. So seeing those guys come in, and I was kind of prepared for it, and they were like, oh, you've done this kind of thing before. But like you said, like the level of professionalism those guys had, and just like, this is what we need, bam, 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 bam. Just like handled business, and they were awesome to work with. They were super fun. Like, we had a really good time with them.
Yeah. You can see why they're so successful, to be honest. You can see why he is so successful, man. That crew was amazing.
The crew was awesome.
Yeah.
For sure. And running 2 crews in the town at the same time, and just a seamless transition. Like, every episode was clean as can be. I don't know. I mean, my lasting impression was really just seeing Guy work and seeing that, you know, he's just a real dude. He's just doing his thing. He comes in, and when the camera goes on, he's on. He's on, and you better be on it. And you better be on it. But when the camera goes off, he's like your homie, man. He's just like, he's just hanging out. He's like showing me pictures of like Andy Reid and Pat Mahomes who are like talking to his friends, and it's like, what? Who is this?
He was talking to me about Vanilla Ice.
Yeah,
because we have a pizza called Vanilla Ice, and they're friends.
Totally.
So he's like, you know, he's my friend, right?
I
know he's your friend.
Of course he's your friend. Jesus, are you kidding me?
Rob Van Winkle.
Yeah.
Rob Van Winkle.
Yep. Should hashtag that. That
was the main thing for me. It was just like seeing that, like these guys said, the professionalism of the crew, but then like the man shows up and it's like
showtime.
The wagon circle and everything tightens up, and you've got 2 hours. You've got 2 hours of this man's time, and because
he's paying folks too. I mean, he's running a restaurant in a sense as well.
Exactly,
You know, you can only have that crew there for so long, and especially coming from the backstage world. You go over a few minutes, man, you start getting into penalties,
right?
And that cuts into your bottom line, just like a restaurant.
Totally.
So you know, they're all about it.
And they're in season 47 of Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives now. So they've got this ironed out a little bit. Yeah. A little bit of experience there.
Done a couple.
Obviously, you know, 7-minute segments, it's really difficult to tell the story of a restaurant in 7 minutes, especially, you know, when...
Well, I mean, you think about the restaurants, you know, we closed for 2 days.
No.
It's not 7 minutes.
No. That's what I'm getting to. I'm saying that it's a 2-day process of filming, but what the end product, what the viewer sees on TV is 7 minutes.
Right.
And that's how your restaurant is known to thousands of people now. How did you guys feel like your restaurants were represented? Were you proud of what you saw?
I'll start real quick. But I was super proud of what we saw. I was really happy. my business partner, Debo, who can't be here right now, he's doing a Christmas party right now at the restaurant. So, but he did the cooking, and he killed it, man. It was a lot of great. I love seeing, we've seen a lot of return for it. But the biggest thing I had a gripe with is they missed a big story, and that was us coming from these guys. That was one thing. And again, because you say it's a condensed thing, it's like the radio, man. It's compressed. It's like, it sounds soft. But they missed a big story, and that was, two guys coming off the hotline that had no business owning their restaurant, running the Flatiron, and we came from these guys. We worked on the hotline for these guys. And it's a story that just got totally overmissed. I mean, they had a lot to talk about. Like you're saying, like, you can only see 7 minutes.
You got to edit 2 days down into 7 minutes. Yeah,
right.
It's hard,
and they want to push your individuality
right.
more than anything, man. I mean, yeah, I gave you a job.
Right. I guess I get it. Yeah, well, more than it. I mean, come on, man, more than a job. So
it was more than a job. No question.
So we see that take place, but and especially for me and Debo, my business partner, like working for Kitchen Table, Diners, Drive-Ins, Dives there, but we left. We went to the Blackstone, of course. Then we came back, and we're like a block away. Mm-hmm. And now we're a restaurant right next to it. We incorporate a lot of our love and passion.
Maybe that's a story that we got to find a way to tell.
That's what we're doing right now, man.
Exactly.
Yeah, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, but that's what I think. They just missed a big story, especially because that's so Omaha, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Right.
That's very us and like what we can achieve in this city. Like our stories should be replicated. There should be dudes on hotlines in restaurants right now being like, yo, I can do that. Like 100%.
Yep.
We're still that city that can make that happen.
Totally.
I believe that.
So,
yeah.
What about you, Brett? How'd you feel? I think you were pretty happy with how Izzy's was represented on the show, right?
I liked it a lot. I think it was awesome that Izzy was represented so much because
yeah, Izzy.
Boom, there she is right over there. I'm all about that.
She did an amazing job.
She had so much fun.
Segment.
That was the last week of school, and we're like, you're not going to school, you're going to do this. That's what's happening.
Yep.
So, yeah, that was really fun. Just, I'm really happy that my pizza's cooked awesome those 2 days because it's not necessarily something that happens all the time. Dough's a beast. So that worked out great. For me, it was like crazy how they edited it. I was telling my buddy Ryan that was in town today. You know all about Ryan. What up, Ryan? I was telling my buddy Ryan about it today, just like how they edited it, and I was like, man, I wish people could see it how it was, because they cut it down or whatever. But if you nerd out a little bit before you're on there and you Google like his reactions and all these things, and you're like, you can tell if he likes it if blah blah blah. And I'm just like, he's just sitting there eating it a certain way and like just checking it out. And he says certain things to the camera, and you don't see any of that in the episode. But I'm like, man, if they would have showed that, because I remember in my head what it was like.
So what was he doing? Like, pull back the curtain, tell us.
It was just like the multiple bite thing, like if he takes one and he just kind of critiques you, he's like, oh yeah, that's pretty good. It was kind of good. Nice job, chef. Thumbs, like, whatever. Like, cool.
Right,
I liked it. 2 bites, 3 bites, like, okay, this is good. But he was like 4 or 5 bites in by the time, like, what you actually see on the show. I was like freaking out in the back, just like sitting back there and like, oh, this is great. If you rewatch it, you can see my grin. Yeah, it was just like, it was 1 bite, and then it was like 2 bites, and I'm just sitting there, total silence. Nobody was saying anything. Because we're in the bus, it was only me and him and like 2 camera dudes. No one else is around because we're like tiny quarters where we are. And then like 4 bites in, and he just looks at the camera and he's like, is he freaking out yet? And I'm just in the back like, this is dope. I was like, all right, I got 4 bites in before he like started making comments. That's pretty sweet.
So that's a moment. Just
something you don't actually see, but
that's a moment that I wanted to ask all you guys about, because Guy never trashes anything on his show, but there are times where you can tell he's very excited about it, and sometimes where he's just kind of like, yep, that was good. And I've even seen him have a couple episodes where he'll take a bite of something and go, I'm glad people like this. That's not for me.
Yep.
So, I mean, there's that moment that kind of just hangs in the balance. So what was that like for you guys as you're watching him eat your food, and you were on camera, Moses, you weren't, but you're watching off camera. Like, what are the emotions going through your head in that moment?
I mean, it's a big deal. It's a big deal.
Yeah.
You're just like, you know, you put, like we said before, it's 2 days. You close your restaurant down for 2 days for that moment.
But it's all your whole career, really, at that point.
Yeah, it's everything you've built up to.
Yeah.
It's
for a couple bites.
For this guy. And, like, guy.
Yeah.
And
Hey.
so...
But like B was saying, there's a couple keywords you got to watch out for, like culinary gangster. He says that, like you're living it, fine dining on a plate like that, or there's these keywords you watch out for, and you're like, say, okay, one, you said that. Two, like, all right, cool, let's go.
We're on.
If he says that he would eat your sauce on a flip flop, that's usually a good sign.
Right.
Yeah, you should bottle that. You should bottle that.
Yeah,
That's a big one.
He loves that one.
But no, I mean, for me, it was more the components. Like as we started to build the processes, and like when I pulled the confit chicken out of the oven for the whole bird, and like I took what I needed out to make my chicken salad, and then he picks up the pan and just like walks around the room, eating the confit chicken and like passing it out to his crew. He's like, dude, and you're like, oh, okay, this guy gets it. This guy gets what I'm going for. How much passion, how much love, how much time I've spent on this one moment, on this one thing that's just one part of the bigger picture. And so when you get to that bite and he's already discovered all the components and he experiences them all together, I mean, it's a good moment, man. It's a good moment. And you know, I mean, going into it, I'll be honest, I know I can cook. I know I'm good. I wasn't surprised that he was impressed at all. And that's not like, you know, I'm not that cocky. I'm a pretty
Confident.
I'm confident, but I'm not that cocky. You know, I mean, I know that we all work. This business is hard, guys. It's really, really, really hard. And if you don't bring your passion every single day, then people aren't going to recognize. And it's not going to change. It's not going to move the meter. But those little moments, those little things where somebody like Guy Fieri comes in and, yeah, I mean, the bite moment is cool. It's really cool. But it's more about, like, this is what I do. And Guy respecting what it is that you do, the processes that lead up to that sandwich, to that dish that he's going to dig into. That's what really resonated with me, with him. It was like, he understood. He understood what we go through to get to that. And for the general customer to come in and get a sandwich, you're coming in and getting a sandwich. It's cool. But, you know, that's 30 years of my life that you're eating. So that recognition really meant something.
Yeah.
I don't even follow that up. Dang, that was deep.
Sorry, dude.
You're good. So I just want to read off a few quotes that Guy had about each of you guys' dishes. So when he was at kitchen table, he had the whole bird sandwich. He said, "Chef, the only thing I don't like about the sandwich is absolutely nothing." At Dirty Birds, commenting on the chicken and waffles, he said, "Anyone that likes chicken and waffles is going to lose their mind."
Okay.
And at Izzy's, he said, "I've got nothing to say but congratulations. It's the real deal. It puts a smile on your face." So, like we were just talking about, like, there is, you know, it's a big deal to have this guy try your food, and you're just kind of hanging in the balance, waiting to hear what he's going to say. And when he comes out and has comments like that, and you start hearing some of the buzzwords that you guys are talking about, what is that feeling like? What's going through your head?
Awesome.
Yeah.
That's all for me. Awesome. He understands. Like he said it. He understands, and it worked out. Like you said, you've seen that episode where he's like, "It's not really for me, but I can understand where people are coming from." But it's awesome to see him like, "Yeah, this was awesome, dude." So I don't know, the fact that he gets it.
Yeah, he's a showman, but he's not a prop. You know what I'm saying? Like, he knows what he's talking about.
Yeah.
He's been, he's at 47 seasons. Like, he's had some food, man.
No joke.
So it was really cool. It was
But
really
he did
great.
it before. I mean, he opened his own restaurants. He's been through the same shit that we've been
Yo, when he was here, when he was in our place, actually, he was on the phone. Like, that's one thing I got from him. He was putting in a $2 million food order for all of his restaurants. Like, all the stuff he's been up. I was like, yo, $2 million. What? Yeah. Okay.
Nice.
All right. Yeah, you yell at Walmart. So that's fine.
Go. Do your thing.
You guys have gotten into this a little bit, but I want to get into more of just like what it was like to interact with Guy, because we all see the on-camera persona. It's so in your face. It's the bowling T-shirts. It's the crazy zingers and the slogans. It's the spiked hair and the sunglasses on the back of his head and everything. But as you look back just on your interactions with him, especially off the camera, what was your takeaway of just Guy as a human?
I had a great interaction with him, too. He actually made me take my shirt off, so I'll just start there. He made me wear his shirt off.
Nice.
Yeah.
Here we go.
No, I'm not joking. Yeah, I'm not joking.
We're definitely getting an explicit rating.
Here we go. Come on.
Yeah, I have my radio tattooed on me from being a backstage chef for so many years. So like I have my tour radio, you know, copy that. All right, bringing chicken. But I have it tattooed on me. It goes all the way up. It's kind of impressive if you're a backstage like roadie kind of thing. And he was like, I got to see it. Let me see it. So he made me take my shirt off. I thought it was going to be on camera. They filmed it, but it didn't show up. So, yeah, maybe that's just for him. I don't know. But one really cool interaction with him off the camera was like, you know, you always look towards an experience like this to like learn something from it or get a piece of advice. And the piece of advice he gave us, he was like, you guys are very like this rock star feel, you know, whatever. And he was like, you know, you guys need merch. Like, you guys need to be like a band, and you guys need merch. So a little story going off that. We didn't want to buy merch, and it's the way our restaurant works. Like Collin was talking about, we make everything, and I'm talking, we make everything. We make our own shirts. So the day he told us that, the next day, my business partner and a few of our employees went to Branson, Missouri, and bought an entire screen printing press. Like, so in our basement right now.
Wild.
Right.
That's the way to do it. That's perfect, dude.
So in our basement right now, we have a 4-screen press. We have a printer. We have design software. So all of our stuff we make in-house. Like, one of my next shirts is one of my employees' faces. Like, it's pretty awesome. Yeah, so, and that was the piece of advice, and that was the off-camera. I was like, I like that, you know, because you want to end up with an opportunity like that. You want to relish something someone like that says to you. And so he was like, get merch. And we were like, all right, got you. Yep. We're going to Branson tomorrow. So, yeah, we went to Branson the next day and got an entire T-shirt. He knows. He saw it.
Yeah,
entire T-shirt shop.
It's all set up.
Yeah.
I love it. That's where my merch is coming from, too.
Yeah.
No, for me, it's a very simple moment. After they wrapped up filming, you go into this whole process where you've invited all these people to hang out in your restaurant, and then you have to feed them. You know, I mean, and so we went from like filming like right into boom, busy lunch
service.
We're serving, we're putting food out, kicking, rocking, and I look out the front door of the restaurant and guys like leaning on a parking meter, just kind of like watching what's going on from out front. And I was like, oh, that's cool. He's just chilling out there. And then he comes in as we're wrapping things up, and he's like, guys, you know, there's usually a big bounce from this. You're gonna see some real business, I hope. And then he paused, and he's like, no, you know your efficiencies. You know what you're doing. You're good. And then he turned out and walked out, and that was the last time I saw a Guy. That was it. That was the end of our. But it was just like
into the sunset.
He walked off into the sunset. Yeah, but it was just like he was like, no, you know what
you
you're
guys
doing.
are good.
You know what you're doing.
Yeah.
I'll leave you to it. And that meant a lot, man. That meant a lot. Just coming from somebody with that kind of pedigree and background and experience, who came in and spent a day in my restaurant, and just having that recognition that, like, yeah, we're on the same level. We know what's going on. Felt good.
That's awesome. The fact that he had that confidence in you. That's sweet.
It felt really good, man.
That's
it felt
awesome,
really good.
dude.
I mean, it was like the best moment of the whole.
He's like, just take it from here, chef. You're good.
He's like, you're good.
That's
dope.
dope.
You got it.
Super cool.
Yeah, it felt good.
So other than we got to get merch and we got to get it tomorrow, what are some? I mean, this guy has opened God knows how many restaurants. He's been to God knows how many restaurants. He knows about food. what other tips or advice or anything did he give you, either on or off camera, that you were like, yeah, we can implement this soon and we should start doing this?
He just told me in general, just like think bigger, like the post camera. Hey, we're done filming his portion for now. I'll come on and just like chat with you for a minute. I was just hanging out on my bus. I had a Mike's Hot Honey margarita, and I was just hanging out while he was like filming. And I was like, this is awesome. He just filmed. There's that Camaro right there outside my bus. This is crazy. I think me and the wife were just sitting on there, and he just came on and he's like, hey, I just want to tell you guys, super awesome, and just like, you should probably think a little bigger than that, just bigger than the bus, since you're doing so awesome, and I appreciate what you're doing. So. And
here you are putting on a brick and mortar.
Let's go.
Boom, right?
Neighbor.
Mm-hmm. Take a little advice, neighbor. What up?
Neighbor.
So yeah, that was just some cool little post-camera advice from him for us. And on the personal level that you were talking about, just the way he interacted with Izzy over there, he never even talked to us like the first second he walked up. Like the camera crew wouldn't let us talk to him. Like he's over there.
Tape on the ground, and you know where to stand.
Oh yeah.
All that.
We have our tape hanging up in the bus. I took the tape off the ground, put it in the bus.
I think we finally mopped our tape up.
Oh, our tape's forever living in that bus, up on the ceiling up there. It's awesome. But yeah, when they finally let us go over to hang out in the spot where we talked to him, because nothing's scripted at all. They just do all this stuff nope, go over and meet him, and everything's filmed right off the bat. And he's just like, what up, Izzy? And just gives her the fist bump and stuff. Like, never even talked to us. I was like, all right, we don't matter for a minute. We're good. So that was really cool, just seeing how he is as a person, where he didn't even care about us at first. He's just like talking about the kids. And he was inspired that we just named it after her. And he's like, cool that you doing it for her and stuff. So
he's clearly the top of the pyramid.
Yeah.
And he sets his own agenda and does his own thing, and everybody that works for him responds to him immediately, and that
was very clear.
You know, coming from this industry that we're all in, and having to employ people and try to motivate them, and that's impressive. That's impressive when people respond to you that way.
Yeah.
It's not easy to do, man.
Nope.
So, really cool.
What was the process like of getting on the show? Did you guys apply? Did Food Network reach out to you? How did you become aware of it and get on?
They reached out to us. Actually, they reached out to us. Mm-hmm. And from what I hear when I was talking to the production manager, the way they reach out, they find, I guess, places that people have recommended, or, you know, they kind of look around reviews and whatnot, and then they reach out to you. There's a couple preliminary talks, and then they get a big binder, a production binder together, and then that goes to Guy. And then Guy is like, okay, this place, this place, this place. And he chose us. We were just as surprised.
From my understanding, it's customers.
Yeah.
It's recommendations from people going on Food Network. Go here, go here, go here. Right. I have a bunch of people that have emailed me saying, I totally recommended you. So,
same.
Because it's not like I went on there and said, come see me. Like, I don't know if anyone else did. I mean, it's not that that's a bad thing, but I just never did, and we got selected. So.
Yeah, I don't answer a lot of unknown numbers, but I'm glad I answered that one.
Yeah. Totally. Like,
didn't
so
have the phone
random.
in the freezer that day.
Yeah. I was like, whoa. Like, you'll never guess what that call was. That was crazy.
They were like, don't tell anybody. Like, what? Tell everybody.
Yeah, but fairly random, really.
Mm. Yeah. It really just kind of came out of the blue.
How many rounds of interviews, like phone interviews or anything like that, did you go through?
I think I went through two.
Yeah, it was two, and then it was...
And then a big binder. Again, you got to fill out, everything.
Yeah, they go through every detail of every recipe. Like, I think, what do we have to select, like 6 or 8 dishes? And
Man,
you have to go
I was
through
so
every
easy.
single...
You guys should do pizza. I told them 2 things.
I bet. We were on the phone for like 2.5 hours.
Oh, man, it was so easy.
Nice.
Well, that's something that I was really interested in, just the dish selection process, because Guy picks what dishes he wants you to make, right?
Yep.
So it was fascinating with you guys especially, because one of the sandwiches that he picked, the whole bird, one of the key components to it is having that fried egg on top, and Guy doesn't do eggs.
Not
so
at
I was
all.
like,
Not at all. I was really skeptical. We were really skeptical. But you know what? In watching the episode, I absolutely loved how they dealt with it.
Yeah.
Because Guy's not going to eat an egg, so we did the whole sandwich without an egg. Like, it wasn't even a thing. And he tried it, and he loved it, and everything was great. And then they have these little moments where they're, like, talking to the people in the dining room about their experience. And somebody said something about then the egg on the sandwich really, like, brings it all together. And Guy says, "There's an egg on yours?" I'm glad they didn't put one on mine. But I thought that was brilliant.
Yeah.
Because it was like, I mean, they just totally glossed over the fact that Guy has, a totally unreasonable fear of eggs. But at the same time, they presented the sandwich the way it's supposed to be, and yet they praised it for what it could be without the egg. And it just, going back to the editing thing, it was just like, they, like, glossed that whole dilemma in our minds down to a 12-second segment, and it was like, oh,
Yeah.
damn.
That production manager, man, he looks like a chef when he's working, man.
Yeah.
That the whole time, his eyes were down, looking at everything.
Totally.
He looks like a chef when he was working.
Yep. Nah, that was cool. That was very cool.
Yeah.
And then for Dirty Birds, I was shocked. I mean, you guys are, the number one thing that you're known for is fried chicken. And he did the achiote grilled chicken sandwich,
Right.
and he did the chicken and pancakes, which I guess there's the fried chicken tenders in there. But I thought for sure just your chicken sandwiches are so massive and
Right.
Instagrammable. I thought he'd go for that. So I was kind of surprised. But even hearing you talk about, you didn't bring fried chicken tonight. You brought the Burox. And
Right.
you're very proud of the
Versatility, yeah.
pasta you guys are putting out now. So
Yeah.
I think,
Yeah.
were you happy to showcase something other than fried chicken, even though that's kind of your staple?
I was, man. I mean, when you get on something like that, you're just willing to showcase anything, get ready for it. And, I'm really glad they picked the pancakes just because that's pretty unique to us. The blackberry brie pancakes.
They're so
fried chicken. Yeah, the sassafras.
Amazing.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. I really like that. The achiote was great. I'm glad they picked it, but oh my, there's so many components. Like when you mise something in a restaurant and you're producing stuff, you're usually not doing it all at once. Like you don't have, we had a table this long, just like, yeah, I guess this all goes into one sandwich. Holy crap. Wow. All right, let's go.
The meatloaf was the same for us.
They didn't even
man.
make us make the bread. That was a big, like, if we would have had to make the bread, that would have been a whole nother episode. Like, it was a lot. It was so much.
Yeah.
Guy really liked Dan's joke when he called MSG Mrs. G.
Miss G. Oh, my
Miss
God.
G.
He made like 4
I
comments
was
on
telling
that.
someone
dude.
about that yesterday. I love the Miss G.
Dan, they even cut it at one part. Dan, Guy was like, okay, let's get excited. He's like, I'm on 11, brother. I don't know. If you come meet Dan, you'll get it. It was hilarious. And Guy asked him, he's like, who's your favorite basketball player? And, Dan was like, I love LeBron James. And he was like, okay, well, shoot the cinnamon into the pot. And he shoots the cinnamon. The guy's like, I hate LeBron. And just shot the cinnamon across the yeah. I was like, whoa, all right. And Devo, he's just like, okay.
Whatever.
Yeah, all right.
On to the next thing.
Yeah.
That's why I hired Dan.
Yeah.
8 years ago to wash dishes in my restaurant. Because the conversation with that dude is just peace. It's easy. It's like, I don't know. He's just one of the more easygoing human beings I've ever known in my life. Definitely. I love that kid.
Now, you guys all are obviously, very good personalities. You came across very well on TV, but like you've mentioned, this is a huge moment for your restaurants. You're getting more exposure out of this 7-minute clip than you'll see in, I don't know, months, years of your business. How do you, or did you prepare it all for that moment? Like, did you run through talking points in your head, or are you thinking, okay, these are the things I got to hit on, or did you just totally ad-lib it? How did you approach this?
35 years of life in the industry.
Yeah.
No, I didn't.
Yeah, but no years on national TV, Collin.
No, it doesn't matter.
It's pretty much ad lib.
He came to my restaurant. I didn't go to his.
And you try to organize your talking points, like we did, but again, Debo was on that, so was Debo. So, all right. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
You know what they're having you cook So at least you can talk about, because you created it. So
Yeah.
whatever the 2 or 3 recipes they're having you make, at least you've made. So, but I don't know, coming from like show business aspect, I know that just like changes on the spot, especially being a celebrity and there's no like rehearsal or nothing. That's just like, we'll just, whatever. You just wing it, really.
Yeah,
you have no idea.
You don't know what he's going to bring.
You have no idea, like the mood or anything. And, like, I don't know, it just
But
comes up.
that's every day in the
Dude,
restaurant.
when he came to our
It's
restaurant,
like really just a day, right?
That's every day. I mean, I don't know what I'm going to. I don't know who's going to come in the front door of my restaurant. I know most of the people who do when they do. You know, I mean, we've been there almost 10 years. We've been there over 10 years, and I know, you know, probably 50-60% of the people that walk in the door and by name. It's weird, but. Like, I don't know who's going to come in today, and that's the business. That's what we do. It's like, here, it's all here for you. Come on in, check it out. And that's how, I mean, that's the only way you can approach it. If you put too many talking points in your head, if you put too many ideas of, you know, what you're going to, no, it's here I am. That's how. I mean, that's why we're all in this business, right?
Really.
and even if you had something together, it's going to get blown to shit, right? As soon as they start.
Totally. So and then
You can plan all you want.
No shit.
He's not going to ask whatever you plan for.
No,
right.
Just be yourself, man.
Yep.
They do a good job setting you up too, you know. Like
They do.
They
give you all the info that
the
you
stuff
need.
they sent us to like just prepare for it. Like they came in and I was like, I had a rack of stuff, and they're like, sweet, we'll just film.
Totally.
Yeah.
It's good to go. It was, everyone's on point. Like you said, how many seasons did you say? Like
46, 47.
They know what they're doing.
We are on 47 right now.
Whew.
Yeah, they know what they're doing. Yeah. Like we got so many documents ahead of time of like, do this, do that, just have this in place.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It made it super easy.
I had so much steak sauce.
Right? Like I way overmade things.
It was insane, man.
Oh yeah.
Because I had to make it. I had to make it for Guy, and then I had to make it for B-roll. But we had to have it on hand to make the sandwich. So I had like 6 gallons of steak sauce in my cooler after they walked out the door.
I had a ton of ranch, a ton of sauce.
Achiote. I had so much achiote chicken hanging around.
Yeah.
It's just, but it's cool because then you have, you have something you can check off your list every day.
Like I said, we
even
partied though after. You guys like opened right away. We partied for like another week after that.
We just went right back to it.
We were going to close for the week anyways because we were trying to take a company fishing trip. That's the only reason we pulled it off. Like we were already closed for that week when he came. But then he was like, "Oh, we're coming."
And you got Monday too.
Yeah.
Damn you.
Yeah.
We got Monday too. That worked out. Yeah.
So you guys only lost one day. Lucky dogs.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so pull back the curtain on that filming process, the 2 days that the production comes in, because Guy is only there for one.
He's there for day one.
So what happens when Guy is there? What happens on the day when he's not there?
So Guy Day is
the easy
first day. That was the
fun
easy day.
Yeah.
Was Guy day 1 or 2 for y'all?
It was day 1.
Yeah, last 2.
It was day 1. So you have everything set up.
Kind of business as usual. Just cook
it
for
is.
a dude.
You're just basically setting up your line, getting ready to roll. The crew comes in. They're like, "We're going to do this, and then we're going to do this. We're going to do it in this order." And then Guy rolls in, and it was kind of weird because they had some sort of family issue, like team thing going on. So when Guy came into our restaurant, he like powwowed with the team for like 45 minutes to an hour in the dining room. While we're just like, let's go. We're ready. No, they're all sitting there just hanging out, having a team meeting. And that was a little uncomfortable.
That's
for
how
sure.
filming works.
It's when the time is when it's time, it's time. But
ours was a little quicker. He actually just came in the night before, and there was a Bret Michaels show in Council Bluffs. So he was at the Bret Michaels show just partying it up, and then he came to our restaurant the next morning. So it was like, all right, cool, man, let's go.
Let's go.
It was great. It was fast. It was 2 hours, I think.
He was around with the hour meeting. He was around for like 3.5 hours.
Yeah, it was just like, again, you're cooking for a dude. You're cooking for another customer. So that was like the easy one.
Ours was like 2 hours total,
Yeah.
Showed up, hung out in the car, and...
But then day 2.
Come on,
I even texted him. I had my B-roll. I think we were first B-roll. I even texted him. I was like, yo, B-roll day, bro.
Yeah, be ready.
Just wait, man.
It hurts.
It's 8 hours of do it again, do it again, do it again.
I thought that one was
like
way more laid
all
back.
kinds of random
For us, it
lighting
was
and
way more
mics
fun.
and all kinds of, like,
Yeah.
it was an obstacle course. Like, I was like trying to fight my way through my own kitchen, trying to figure
And you're not
out
doing
where to
dishes
be.
all day.
No.
They made me left-hand
That's
to
why we
pizza,
have
and
Mike
I don't
West.
ever left-hand to pizza. And sprinkle it with your left hand. I'm like, what?
Right.
He's like,
What does that even mean?
well, because the camera's here, and I'm like, it's not going to work out. He's like, I'm so glad they cut it so short, down to like 6 minutes, because I don't left-hand the pizza.
They just panned it to where you're just sprinkling stuff on the floor.
It's going to be everywhere,
all over
dude.
the floor. Yeah, B-roll day was rough. B-roll day was,
It was a long day, man.
that's like the real shoot. That's
10, 12 hours.
You're just there with the crew. Let's go.
I had a really good time on that day.
Yeah, it was fun. No
Yeah.
question, it was fun. But it was like in your own head, man.
I feel like everyone
It's
was
just
a
you
little
and them.
less tension because Boss wasn't there.
Sure,
That's a real thing.
I get that, but at the same time, it was like we got to get
Long.
this.
Yeah,
it was
yeah,
long.
for sure.
It was like do
you
it
guys
again.
have a lot more
do
than
it
we do.
again.
Like I was saying,
Do
like
it
we
again.
just do
it
pizza.
again.
It was
Yeah.
like
Do
just
it
a few
again.
things
Do
and
it
throwing some
again.
pizzas in.
Do it again.
Yeah,
You
we
guys-
had to keep going over.
You guys
and
had
over.
a lot of stuff to do.
So many dishes.
Call out your
Cooking
tickets.
for nobody.
It's like I don't call out my tickets.
Dude, when
I know
Table
that.
6? What the fuck? What is that?
that was my
Makeup
I don't have a
names.
table 6.
Make up
but-
names, make up numbers, call them out. Yep.
That was probably my favorite because we did their watch party at our restaurant, right?
Yeah.
So because we had just got the big TVs, and me and Dan were in the kitchen. All we hear is calling, "I'm outrun!" I was like, "Oh my god!" I've never heard Collin say that before ever.
So one of my favorite moments from all 6 of the Omaha segments that Guy did is you were making a sandwich for him, and it was on Levain bread. And he makes a joke. He goes, Levain and Shirley? And I don't know if you were just buzzing him off or it just went totally over your head, but you just said, nope, that's what the French call it. Like you were just totally straight line. So I'm just curious because Guy is known for having these quirky little sayings and he's always got little one-liners and everything. How do you keep your focus on the food while also entertaining this guy who you know could just throw a zinger at you at any moment?
I'll tell you a secret about Guy Fieri. He steals your towels.
Steals your towels.
He's a towel stealer. So, and honestly, it's kind of a weird thing, but like a towel in the hand, it's a binky, man. It's your baby blanket in the kitchen. You have a towel in your hand, and at the time, it was incredibly frustrating. But looking back on the situation, I realized that it's a tactic. It's something that he does on purpose, because we all in the kitchen, we need our towels, man. We need our towels. And so every time I would put a towel down, he would pick it up and move it.
Really?
And so then I was like, what the? And then I'd have to find a new towel. And that, I mean, that's just kind of how he keeps you on point. I know I'm totally demolishing your question right now, but
No, this is fascinating. This is a way more interesting answer than I was expecting. I didn't know he was a towel thief.
he's a towel thief, man. That's
He
what he
stole my
does.
towels. He stole some spoons, but
Did he steal? He didn't steal your towels?
Wow,
No,
nice.
he got me.
Nice.
He got over and over and over again. It's like every time.
So this is how he gets his
It's like a
silverware
blessing,
for all his
maybe.
army
It
of
just takes
restaurants out there.
because it takes your mind. You're not thinking about what's going on around you. You're thinking about where the hell is my towel. And so then when he hits you with something, it's just like you're in the kitchen, man. You're on point. I need my towel. I'm not worried about what you have to say. I need my towel
It is.
because I
He
can't take
literally-
anything out of the oven without he keeps you moving constantly. And so it's not like you're thinking about things. It's not like you're trying to prepare for a role. You're making food, man. You're doing what you do and what you've done your whole life. And then he steals your towel.
Anyone, if you visit Kitchen Table or are lucky enough to
Leave
work
my
for Collin,
towels
do
alone.
not touch his towels.
Nah, take them. Bring in the Dirty Birds. Take them and bring them to Dirty Birds. Give you a free something.
There you go.
So you guys have mentioned you all had watch parties where, you know, a bunch of people came out and supported you, and you get a chance to finally see the episode. And like you said, you filmed for several hours with Guy and then 8 to 10 hours the day after shooting B-roll, but you don't know what that's going to, there's so much.
No idea.
So many hours of footage they have. You have no idea what that's going to look like when it comes out. What was it like for you watching the episode in that moment?
I still ain't seen it.
Yeah.
Are you serious?
I still ain't seen it.
What?
Again, it was Debo mostly on it, but when we had the watch party, we stayed in the kitchen. We could hear ourselves.
I was at your.
You guys haven't seen it at all.
Nah.
Y'all crazy?
Come on.
Come on now.
No, I mean I watched it. I haven't watched it again.
It was
I
weird.
have only seen it twice myself.
No, that's
honestly.
good. That's impressive.
But yes.
No, I watched it at Dirty Birds, and I was getting sick that day. Like I had a cold coming on, and I felt pretty crappy. And I got up there, and I had a cup of tea and a shot of Fernet, and then I had another shot of Fernet.
Another shot of Fernet.
And then I had another shot of Fernet, and then another shot of Fernet, and then the show came on. So that'll tell you.
There was a lot of hooting and hollering, man.
Yeah.
It was a lot of fun.
It was a lot.
Cool.
I had a great time, but no, I don't know. Honestly.
It's weird.
I'll be honest.
Yeah.
It was cool. It's really cool that it happened, and I love the experience of it. But yeah, like reliving it, I don't know, man.
Right.
I don't know. I want to move forward.
I haven't relived it many times, but you were at our watch party, and that was a pretty fun time.
I will never forget watching you and your family. Like, while the episode's airing, I just watched you guys, and to see the pride.
Because you pre-watched it, you cheater.
I didn't
but anyway,
cheat.
You did cheat. You continue. You cheated.
I'm not like these guys. I knew I had a chance to be on national TV, and I wanted to see if I was going to be on the episode. So I have an ego. I'm sorry.
Were you on the episode?
He was definitely
for like
on
2
it.
seconds.
Okay.
I
He was
was
there.
quote, yeah.
He was totally there.
Good.
It counts.
Brilliant.
But just to watch you guys and see, you know, so much has gone into this restaurant, and to see like how happy you were with how it came out, and especially when Izzy was on and she did a great job, like you and Cherish like were borderline welling up tears. That was a really, really impactful, powerful moment. So
I made sure I took time. I ain't missing that. I already, like, you don't know when it's coming. They just call you 2 weeks out. Oh, it's airing this date, and I already booked a wedding that same day. So there's no way I could cancel someone's wedding and hey, I'm sorry, I have to watch myself on TV. So I went through like 3 streaming services and figured out how it's going to DVR so I could just watch it that night. Got me a keg of beer, fed everyone pizza, fed everyone free beer, fed everyone some wine.
it was awesome.
It was awesome. We had a party. I watched us rock that stuff. It was great stuff, I said.
No, I don't mean to sell it. I don't mean to sell it short by any means.
No, for sure.
My folks were there.
We just...
You know,
we ended up just throwing a party with it.
It was
we have
cool.
a different thing just
cool.
because we have a food truck too. It's like you guys have totally different, like even businesses that we do. Like we
Not
just
for
ran
long,
a food
man.
truck.
Not for long, right?
We were just sitting at a wedding for 2 hours and left like that. That was our only business for the day. So like
people showed
totally
out.
different game too. So.
When we aired ours, man, people showed out. Our restaurant was packed.
You guys advertised the crap out of that party.
It was a lot of fun.
No
man.
surprise you weren't busy.
It was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
It was really cool. It was cool to hear everybody hooting and hollering out there, man.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, it was fun.
I saw pictures.
Yeah, it was
It
cool.
was not busy.
It was crazy.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the thing. It was for me. It was more about seeing all the people that love us and care about us.
Yeah, and all the people who had a chance to be on it too. That was cool for them as well. That was really cool to see.
That was more important to me than seeing myself on TV.
Right.
For sure.
Who made the cut? Let's see.
That was me.
Exactly.
That's what I told him. I hope you're on there. I hope Izzy's on there. I hope like so and so. Like I already know. Look, we're gonna be on there. Like
Totally.
It's not a concern. Like I just hope they represent the food. Most importantly, I hope that he like doesn't just show off. Oh, we're in a bus, or oh, you just like do this or whatever. Like please,
about the food and the people.
Please represent like what we spent. Like you said, our lives are however many years like creating.
Right.
Like please represent that. Like
Yeah.
do that properly.
And I think they killed it. Again, they did a great job.
Ultimately, I think all of our episodes did display that. Really.
I agree.
Now, I'm not going to ask you guys for sales numbers or anything, but have you seen an impact, a bump in both sales, social media interactions, anything? Like, has your business changed at all since the episode aired?
I've seen a bump from all of it, to be honest.
Yeah.
All of it. It's social media, business-wise. And then merch, we've gone through like 400 shirts. We didn't sell a single
all made
shirt.
in the basement, baby.
We didn't sell a single shirt before that.
Yeah.
But now we're buying out Thrift World and buying all their T-shirts.
There you go.
It's pretty cool.
I mean, we've seen a bit. We've seen some
Applications.
People come
I've seen so many applications too.
Really?
Because we have it on our website.
I have seen quite a few. Yeah.
Wow, a lot of applications and a lot of like hungry younger chefs, which is great to see too. So
in. That's awesome.
I saw I would say kind of temporary. We have a unique situation again with the food truck thing. That it's not just like the weather kills us sometimes, or just where we're at may not be somewhere you can just like hang out at. So that's kind of weird. But a temporary, definite increase down with the winter. But we'll see what next year brings.
Yeah.
Last thing before we jump into the live Q&A, now that you've been through this experience, how has your opinion of food TV been impacted? How has it changed? And maybe it hasn't. If it hasn't, feel free to say that too.
I mean, for me, yeah, it hasn't really changed all that much. I mean, I think it's a wonderful thing. I mean, I think it all goes back to Bourdain.
So
Yeah.
Bourdain, but there's a few. Martin Yen can't cook.
Yeah, totally. No, I'm not.
Childs.
I'm not trying to call it Julie Child. Obviously,
I grew up on Martin Yen. Yen can't cook. Started my culinary career.
Totally.
100% PBS. Maybe it hasn't changed. I mean, I don't know. I don't really watch. The great thing about those shows is it brings people in the kitchen that don't work in the kitchen. It's really hard to watch those shows when you're like in the kitchen all day. Let me go watch this.
True.
So it's like the whole thing with the bear and all these Emmys.
It's
a cool
there's
show.
No way. Dude, I would sweat if I watched that show right now.
No.
I can't even imagine what it's like. No way.
No.
So that's every day for us. Not unfortunately. It's great. It's cool. It's an everyday thing.
It's our life.
I don't watch a lot of chefs. And again, I haven't watched cooking shows since Martin Yen and Julie Child and
totally
Jacques Pepin,
Graham Kerr, man. Anybody? Can I get a shout out for Graham Kerr? Anybody? Anybody? Galloping Gourmet.
Galloping Gourmet. Okay, there we go.
All right, that's what I grew up on. In the Silver Palette Cookbook.
Yeah.
All right, move on.
Yeah.
Brett, what about
the
you?
The good stuff we should know about, really.
That's right.
That's what I'm just a pizza dude, so I'm actually trying to get to that level someday. Inspirations, y'all are inspirations to me.
Cheers, man.
Somehow get there, start with pizza and we'll get somewhere else someday. But
I mean,
come in anytime, dude.
Yeah,
Come hang out.
That's the thing.
Love to,
from
sure.
the bump from this show, we were able to finally buy our mixer that we have now, and that we're making all of our breads
Now
from.
you're making breads.
Seeing that bump, it got us.
I came in right before you were talking about we're getting a new mixer, and I was like, nice.
Yeah, I think it was still in the box when you showed up. It
was sitting over in the corner.
Uh-huh,
Yep.
Yeah. So now, seeing that, it's helped us out tremendously, for sure.
I love seeing you post when you guys are doing that. I'm like, yeah.
All day. Yeah.
Using that mixer. Here you go.
Mm-hmm. Using it.
Well, I could talk to you guys all night, but I do want to respect your time, so I think we're going to cut off the podcast segment of it there. I cannot thank you guys enough for taking your time to not only come here, but to cook a bunch of awesome food that just got absolutely obliterated. I mean, it is all gone.
Wonderful.
Applause to you guys.
That's awesome.
Thank you guys.
And again, thank you to everyone who came out tonight. We'll get to the live Q&A here in a second. But Omaha, as always, thanks for eating with us.